What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this is not news. I am happy to even be discussing. We have waited so long for a Constantine sequel, Constantine 2, especially with trying to get Keanu Reeves to come back. Keanu Reeves, and that's not to say he didn't want to come back. I think Keanu has been very vocal when this topic comes up that he has wanted to come back. He's wanted to do a sequel, but the stars have just never aligned for that to happen. And obviously he's moved on several projects since the first film came out. And I think one thing that he's going to be, his career will probably be best known for, will be the John Wick franchise. And again, that doesn't take away from all the other great films and projects he's done, because I could name off a ton of other films that I enjoy him in. I mean, from Point Break to, especially one of my favorites, The Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino. If you haven't seen that, go see it. As far as like the whole Antichrist, religious horror type aspect, again, one of my favorites. I will say though, again, as I always say when it comes to older films, it is a product of its time, but still a great film. But again, this is not news that I typically would like to see or even be talking about. But Peter Stormare gives update on Constantine 2. Keanu Reeves reportedly unhappy with script. Now, the fact that there has been so much time to get the script right, to get the story right, you would think once we finally got the green light that Constantine 2 was going to happen, they were going to move forward with the project, Keanu Reeves is coming back, that a script would not have been the one thing that would be coming up as a problem. You would have thought maybe it's scheduling, maybe it's finding the right locations, maybe it's casting the right supporting actors and actresses to play off of Keanu Reeves' character coming back after such a long hiatus. Not a script issue, and especially a script issue coming from with Keanu Reeves. So we're going to jump into this article. We have two articles on this topic, so we're just going to jump into this one. We'll pull up the second one as we always do, cherry pick it, see if there's anything new or different in that article that's not in this first one. So let's get into these details here. It's been over 2 years since the official announcement of Constantine 2. That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy and it's not crazy. We've seen something very similar happening with the whole Blade reboot. I mean, and that's had a much longer time period from when it was announced, and there has still been zero movement on that. It's had zero movement. It's been canceled, uncanceled, recanceled, pushed back, rescheduled, canceled again. So it's not like we don't see these types of things happen, but for something like this, where we've already had the film, this isn't a reboot, it's a sequel. And again, I just don't understand why this is such a hard thing to get up off the ground and get the project moving. But let's move forward. It's been over 2 years since the official announcement of Constantine 2, with Keanu Reeves coming back to play DC's John Constantine. Constantine co-star Peter Stormare recently gave a new update on the script status. Speaking with the direct, Stormare, who played Lucifer in the original film, surprised with the reveal that Reeves is currently unhappy with the current draft of the sequel. Quote, "It's a lot of back and forth because I think Keanu, which I know pretty good, is not so happy with the scripts and usually what comes out of the studios. Because the first one wasn't that successful in the beginning, it became a sleeper and became a cult movie. It absolutely did. And now it is one of the biggest cult movies ever. But to do a sequel, the studios want to have, cars flying in the air. They want to have people doing flip-flops and fighting action sequences," Stormare said. To further clarify, Stormare explains that it's the more action-heavy slant that Reeves is at odds with and prefers to keep Constantine 2 more in line with its predecessor. This quote goes on, I don't know if this might still be Stormare talking. It turns into an action movie and it's not like going deeper and deeper into the characters. I think he wants to do his character again, Constantine, as grounded as it was in the first one. It took a long time for you to become a cult movie. It really worked, and it will work on the audience again. You don't have to add a lot of action and shootouts. You have other movies. Don't turn it into big Marvel. Don't turn it into us flying around in harnesses all the time and shooting each other up. Don't bring in the big guns. Let it be." I couldn't agree more. Let's see, there's more. There's no more quote to this. I couldn't agree more. I don't want to see. I understand this is a DC character. I get that. So it falls within the realm of, I guess you can say, the comic book world, but it has its crossover, in my opinion, to the horror aspect. I don't want to see I don't want to see James Gunn or Peter Safran, if they haven't, I'm sure they have some level of say into this. I don't want to see it feeling like a comic book movie. I want it, while there's going to, I'm sure it's going to have those aspects to it, I want it to be more on the horror side. I don't feel that we need to have this Superman / Guardians of the Galaxy / new DCU look and feel on this character. I feel this should, I believe this might be flying under the Elseworlds banner for DC, and if it is, let it be its own thing. Let it dip into that horror aspect. That's what we were supposed to get with Clayface. That we were supposed to get this whole Clayface horror spin under this Elseworld banner. We were excited for that. The script, apparently the script was such a great thing that James Gunn was convinced to do it, and then now we've heard and we reported on this like a few weeks back that the script is being rewritten. So obviously it wasn't that great if now you're having the original script writer step away, who's working on several other things, Carrie and the Carrie series and the Exorcist stuff, and now it's getting rewritten. So I don't want this to be that. I don't want it to get we're getting our hopes up and getting the hype behind something that, okay, it's going to be very different than what they're trying to build for this DCU, only to find out that they want to turn it into nothing but an action movie and nothing but a popcorn flick. I don't want to see that. I get it. Movies are there to make money. Studios are in this to make money. I 100% understand that. That is not lost on me. They want to make money. But as the quote was going, as Peter was saying in this quote, the first film obviously didn't do well. But it could have been also a product of its time. Could have been ahead of its time. And now it has a massive cult following, and people have been calling for a sequel for years. And I think a sequel could be and will be vastly supported as long as they stay true to what was originally built. I don't think a lot of fans want to come into a film called Constantine 2, has Keanu Reeves, and it feels like it is completely disjointed from the first film. Now, a lot of time has passed. It's obviously going to be very different. But I don't want to see this being like a type of John Wick film, but they're not calling it John Wick, right? I don't want to see that. So that's why I don't think you necessarily need all the, as he's putting here, flying around harnesses, all these massive and glorious shootouts. I don't think every film needs that. Let's move on. Returning director Francis Lawrence previously said, "I will say we are closer than ever to being able to do a sequel, which is a great thing. And Keanu and I are super excited about it. Akavia Goldsman will write the screenplay and produce the project. Though this sounds like potentially another setback for the project, it seems clear that everyone involved cares about getting it right. 2005's Constantine is loosely based on the DC Comics / Vertigo Comics Hellblazer, with Reeves playing the chain-smoking demon hunter. The movie made $230 million worldwide back in 2005 against a $100 million production budget. So yeah, it doubled it, but still not the success you would expect putting $100 million into a film, especially in 2005. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money in 2005 money, let alone in 2025. So as we wait for additional news on Constantine 2, look for Francis Lawrence, A Long Walk to arrive later this year. And then this is just a picture from the original film. So let's jump over to the second article here. See if there's anything additional that wasn't just covered. 20 years after release, yep, we know all that. Sequel finally happening. We know all this, talked about all this. We have heard that the script delivered. Let's see here. But it's moving ahead slowly because it has already been a few years since the project was first announced. We have heard that a script for Constantine has been delivered to executive producer Lorenzo, I'm not even sure I pronounced his last name, around 8 months ago. Okay, that's new information. That article, previous one, did not cover off on that fact, that the first script has already, it's been in play for 8 months, but now Constantine 2 co-star Peter Safran, who played Lucifer in the first film, has revealed Keanu Reeves is not happy with the script. So it looks like we have the same written. Oh, so this is just a synopsis of the first film, so we don't need to go over that. The producer talked about that. So this is the long quote. We just read through all this. I mean, this one's a little bit longer, and so. Okay, they won't have a lot of doing a lot of flip flops, action sequences. I think Keanu says I've done. Yeah, so we're gonna actually read this quote because it seems to have a lot more into it. So the quote that is here from Stormare seems to be a little bit more lengthy. It's a lot of back and forth. I think Keanu, which I know pretty good. Okay, we covered all that because the first one wasn't. Okay, covered all that. But to do a sequel, the studios want to have, you know, cars flying in the air. They want to have people doing flip-flops, fighting action. And I think Keanu says, I've done John Wick. This movie is spiritual. It's about demons and the regular people. And I want to keep it that way. And we talked about that. I want to do God coming down exactly the same way, but in a black suit and looking more or less like Lucifer from the first one. I'm 12 years older, so it's going to be hard to, you know, completely imitate the first movie. But I think from Keanu, he wants to do a sequel that is very close to the first one. I think he wants to do his character again. So now we go into the rest of the quote. So that bulk of that middle of this quote was not in the previous article. And that's exactly what I just said. I don't want to see another John Wick feeling type film just called Constantine 2. I want to see Constantine 2. So yeah. Good. I'm glad we pulled up the second one because I think that does provide a bit more context to it. And that's the end. This article, that's all that. I mean, they pretty much just gave the quote and a little bit of the highlight up above. So, yeah. And this article actually also had the fact that the script has been in play for 8 months with the executive producer. So that's crazy that they've had this script going around for 8 months, and we're not that we're just now hearing about it. Typically, there would be a delay in us hearing about it. But that the fact that they haven't dialed it in, and if Keanu has been unhappy for 8 months about this script, and again, they haven't dialed it in to fixing these problems, it really makes me wonder if they're ever going to get this project moving. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be surprised, not surprised, if this project gets canceled. Especially if Keanu isn't. I mean, Keanu doesn't need this. I mean, we know we're getting a John Wick Chapter 5 now. Whether or not how deep that goes into him returning. Right, we know he has that little cameo in the ballerina film, and they're going to be expanding out the John Wick universe. Now, depending upon where those series and films fall within the timeline, Keanu may show up, may not show up, but I don't think John Wick really needs this. This is, as I take from that quote, this is more of a passion project versus I have to do project. So fingers crossed this doesn't get canceled, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if it does get canceled. So anyways, that's going to do it for this horror news update. Constantine 2, Keanu Reeves not happy with the script. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Do you feel this project could get canceled? Do you think it's on teetering that line, or do you think this is just the growing pains of getting this film off the ground into production? Again, let us know in the comment section. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Later.